coming Tuesday, 9 a.m. at the Ritchie Suncoast Theater, which is in Newport Richie. This dude, Buck Wise, coming to literally the seminar, and I want to give a little bit of information about that so that you know kind of like what it is and why I want you to be there if you are a business owner or someone who's trying to start a business or get attention to something. You might have heard like Gary Vaynerchuk or Grant Cardone or people saying that like attention is everything, like money follows attention, attention is the new currency. That is 100% true, but what you might be seeing is I started taking pictures of stuff, but I get one like. Like I get one like, and it's my mom. Like I can't get my customers or my potential customers to pay attention to me. I don't know how to get in front of them. I don't know how to get their attention in a way that actually gets me results. Construction. My good friend Reagan Weiss has been able to do this for his construction company, Templar Contracting, and now he helps other businesses do it with 43 Incorporated, which is his marketing and branding and sales training company. What we wanted to do is actually have something to give to the community to help other business owners get the same results and really get you kick-started into the second half of 2022. A lot of our businesses heat up in the summer. We want you to go into it super powerful so you can have an amazing 2022. And really, to be completely honest and transparent here, I saw the opportunity to bring Buck in for much less than he normally charges because he's in a position where he's trying to start a new thing. So I took advantage of that. I paid him to come and speak, and originally it was just to speak to me and my team is what I originally paid for because he was waiving his speaking fee no matter what the size of the audience was. So what I did was I got on the phone with him after we paid, and I was like, hey, so what do you think about doing an event? And he was like, well, actually the people I'm going to see in Dallas did that, so why don't we do an event in Tampa as well? So I was like, okay, let me get on the phone with Reagan, and why don't we do it? My original idea was I just want to network with Buck because I see that as valuable, and I wanted to have a personal connection with somebody who's doing it at a really high level and see what he's doing and get to really pick the nuggets of gold out of his brain and really get all that info and just like really understand how he does it and how he's done it for the biggest brand. So why this guy? Like why this dude, Buck Wise? I mean, he's got a good following, but you may not have heard of him. Let me give you kind of the backstory on him and what's going on with him. So Buck started out by just running his, like a lot of marketing people, running his own deal, like running ads for people, doing a little bit of branding, doing some web development and managing all that. And he wound up building up his own company. Then he sold that company. And then he started to work at high-level positions for other large companies. So he started out at a big agency. Then he moved to Nike. So he literally worked on the branding team for Nike. This was like early 2000s time frame, before Nike was really the juggernaut that it is now, but when it was going through and really becoming huge, early 2000s, if you can kind of think back to that. Nike wasn't what it is now, but it was really starting to be huge. Then he moved from Nike to Starbucks, where this dude, and this is where it really gets kind of a little insane and interesting, is this dude pitched the pumpkin spice latte to Howard Schultz. So he was responsible for, if you in a couple months, you may actually be sipping on a pumpkin spice latte. This dude is the person who came up with that idea and pitched it to Howard Schultz, and as the result of that, the pumpkin spice latte is probably one of the top 10 best-selling and best-known items. If you take individual products, that's one of the best-known products in the United States, and I would even venture to say the world. I mean, you can't really go anywhere and say pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks without people knowing exactly what you're talking about. This is the dude who conceptualized that and came up with a marketing plan to take it from just a drink to that. Imagine like my favorite drink at Starbucks is a tall flat white with almond milk, actually. But that's not a popular drink because it's not marketed as a popular drink. It's all in the marketing, right? There's not a big difference between a pumpkin spice latte and a tall flat white with almond milk, right? And I do the blonde espresso as well. But the difference between those is the amount of push and the amount of brand and the amount of story that was told around that product. So this is what Buck created for the global brand of Starbucks. So what this seminar is about is taking that methodology and applying it to the content that you're creating for your business. Because think about it. How would the pumpkin spice latte have been marketed, right? It would have been through pictures, videos, and written words. That, like, What you might not realize is the big brands that are marketing these, that have these billion-dollar budgets and are marketing these amazing, seemingly amazing products, and they're just getting all this money. The reason that that's happening is because they create content. A, they create the content. So if you're not over that hump, we need to get you over that hump. And then B, they structure and strategize the content in a way that's going to present something enticing that's then going to get the person to respond to it. And they do it in a way where the person doesn't feel used. When you go in and you go into Starbucks and you buy a pumpkin spice latte for $6, by the way, for like a cup that's like that big, right? It probably cost them 10 cents to make that drink and 9 cents of it was the cup. You don't feel used. You're like, I got my Starbucks, like they made it right, they wrote my name on it. You're like excited for that exchange. The reason that that Starbucks is able to have that situation, I mean, just think about that situation. If you're a painter, and I just go back to the painter because that's just such an easy business for me to conceptualize, and it costs you, let's say $5,000 to paint a house. What if you sold that house paint job at $50,000 and the people were excited to pay you that $50,000 because of who you were, what you represented, and what it meant for them to be able to use you to paint their house? That's what a brand is, and that's what effective content gives you the ability to do. If you're a service provider and you're making, 20% on top of the services that you provide, that's not acceptable in my opinion. And if you're okay with that, then that means you're delivering a mediocre service. Now, my guess is you're probably not delivering a mediocre service. Most service providers, and when I say service providers, I mean, the contracting field especially, so plumbers, electricians, HVAC, painters, drywall guys, contractors, framers, concrete people, that's kind of my world. Obviously in the real estate mortgage world, those people are paid very well and it's a very high margin industry, but even in those industries, you're not doing nearly the volume of deals that you should be doing, it would be my guess. If you're a realtor and you're not selling 100 homes a year, there's something wrong because the demand is out there, the opportunity is there. The issue is you don't know how to get into those people's minds as this is the only person I've got to use. Or when I go to sell my house, man, I've got these 5 people I know who are realtors, but I've just got to talk to this one person because I see their stuff and I just want the opportunity to maybe do business with them because how cool would it be to do business with that one person? Like Jen Verge would be a good example of that, right? I see her stuff all over the place. She's very well known. What Jen has done is she's made effective content that gets into the brains of people and put it out in mass. And so she is now the go-to person for that. And so if you want to achieve that through just creating content, like literally what I'm doing with you here right now on this live, come on June 7th at 9 a.m. to the Ritchie Suncoast Theater. The link, we do have an Eventbrite for this, so we ask that people register and not just show up so that we know when we're at capacity, because we only can fit 300 people and we already have 100 confirmed. So over the weekend, we're expecting to get another 200 to 300 people. We want to know where we're standing. Like when we get to 400 registrations, we got to cut it off because we'll have potentially more than 300 people. Obviously, there's going to be some people who don't show up, blah, 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 life happens. But when we get to that 400 mark, you can't come at that point, because we can't guarantee that we're going to have a seat for you. So, I mean, you can come, but, if it turns into a situation where the registered people versus the unregistered, anyways, that whole thing is just register so we know you're coming. We want to see you there. I'm going to get up on stage after Buck does his seminar. Let me talk about the structure here for a second. So at 9 a.m. sharp, you'll see on the Eventbrite, it's set at 8:30. Show up at 8:30 so you can come in, get coffee, whatever, sit down, grab your seat, get out your pen and paper, get ready to take some notes, maybe mingle and network a little bit. At 9 o'clock sharp, we start with Buck. He's going to get introduced by me and Reagan and get on the stage, and he's going to start doing his thing for 90 minutes. He's got a 90-minute seminar/workshop where he's going to go and give you his content and do his slides, and then he's going to get into an actual workshop piece where you're going to use the framework that he gives you to say, okay, what content pieces do I need to create to get this result? He's going to actually help you to workshop through that. At the end of that, we're going to go into a Q&A where Reagan and I are going to get up on the stage with Buck, and we're going to hammer him with specific questions. So we need you to give us questions. If you need something that you want us to ask him or something you really are struggling with or want to know more about, ask us beforehand. Either send us a message or leave a comment on this video or one of the other posts so we can collect those up and have questions for him. Otherwise, it's just going to be our questions that we want to know Because look, the reason we booked this guy and the reason I booked this guy in the beginning was because I wanted to connect with him. I wanted to get to ask him those pointed questions of like, okay, I have this problem, I'm trying to promote this, how do I do it? Tell me now. Like, that's what the intention was. So I want you to get the opportunity to do that. So leave a comment on this video with what your question is so that we can actually ask him, okay? So do that now. You know, if you've got a question or if you think of one and you're like, oh man, I would love to be able to solve this problem. You know, if you're not creating content and getting results immediately from it, like you put out a video, somebody calls you the same day, if that's not the situation, we can fix that in the seminar. Like, that is possible. I, in my business, put out content and we start getting leads and then sales for that content, typically with a 1 to 2 week lag from when the video actually gets posted. The calls usually come in a couple days after, and then within a week or two, we're getting money from that new idea or service offering that we're giving. So if you want to achieve that, come to the seminar June 7th at 9 a.m. at the Richie Suncoast Theater. Go to the Eventbrite link in my bio, or just message me to get the link to get the tickets. The tickets are probably gonna run out. And so I don't want that to happen to you. So just register now so we know you're coming, and we'll just make it smooth that way. We will fill this thing up pretty easily, I think, based on the fact that Reagan runs the hub and it's going out into the hub like massively, and we literally got 100 people sign up in one day. So we're gonna fill it up. So register now if you haven't already. June 7th, 9 a.m. at the Richie Suncoast Theater. I look forward to seeing you there. Now, if you're on this channel because you're interested in home love construction and you want to do a design, realize that we do designs as well. Go to homelove.construction/design if you have a project you're thinking about or you just want to talk to us about something. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next vid. If you have not already, click the link and get your tickets for June 7th, 9 a.m. at the Richie Suncoast Theater to see Buck Wise and learn how to create content that gets you money. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.